Go live now. I think we're live. So I am going to just ask my team, double check. But if you guys are tuning in, welcome to Connie's success story. Conny, thank you for being here. Let's see,
Yes,
I'm going to
thanks a
switch
lot.
over. Yeah, give me 2 seconds. Okay. Awesome. New technology. Yay. So thanks for being here, Conny. I don't know if people can see you or see me. So I think they can only see me right now. So I'm going to manually switch us back and forth. So let's have you say hello. Why don't you, introduce yourself. Let us know where you live and what you do.
Yes, first of all, hi everyone. For me in Germany, it's evening. So whatever time zone you are, have a nice day or evening. My name is Conny Schumacher. I live in Munich in Germany. I work as a coach since many, many years. First of all, I worked as a personal fitness coach. And due to COVID, I switched and now I work as a professional coach and I support people who already have a lot of success, but somehow they are missing something. I help them to really connect to their inner strengths and remember their long forgotten dreams sometimes and go for their dreams. And especially I work with CEOs and companies because I'm a strong believer that economy needs more dreamers and visionaries, and I help them to find success in themselves, be content with themselves, and find their inner strength, and get a team that they are inspiring, and grow their business in a little bit different way.
I love that. Thank you for sharing. So, how long have you been coaching? Maybe just tell us a little bit about that, because you were doing fitness before, right? And kind of like fitness coaching. So just tell us a little bit about how long have you been coaching and what had you, I know you've worked with us for on and off for some years. What had you come back again to get more support?
Well, I've been working with Gigi, I think I started 2010 something. When I had my personal training career on. And at that time, I was strongly convinced that I'm a project girl, that I have project and I have big project and I made them work. But after the project, I had like a breakdown and I needed a pause. And this was actually, it was funny, it was challenging, but it wasn't really successful in a way that I could grow my business. And well, due to COVID, I said I changed my profession, and then I thought, well, I have to really build a business now and build it stable, so not more jumping from project to project, but really build a foundation. And this is why I came back, because I actually never had that, and I really wanted to. When I start something new, I really wanted to build it from scratch and a profound foundation, and that's why I came back to you.
So I just want to make sure I'm understanding. So you had a business for many years. You were doing personal training, like fitness training, and but you felt like you had these kind of ups and downs. Like you were focused for a time and you could really go for it. But then you would kind of fall off or you'd need a big break or something like that. And so there wasn't consistency. And that's the theme we're talking about today with getting consistent 13K months. Is getting that consistency. So what changed when you came in the last 6 months or year and started working with us again? What made the difference? Well, first of all, what's changed in your results? Why don't we start there?
Well, my results changed. I have a regular monthly income now of 13,000. I created really 13,000 continuously in the last months. And this is completely different to before, where I had projects and I made a lot of money. But then, as I said, for a couple of months, I had nothing coming in. And that was challenging. Of course, it was exciting, but also challenging. And now with this regular, stable income I've built over the months, it is so much relaxation and it is much more fun. And I have much more freedom since I changed that. approach.
If you could go back and tell the Connie a year ago, because I think that you probably had some ideas about like getting to that consistency and that maybe you wouldn't want to do that, or like that you didn't like this, something. What you tell me, I'm not going to tell you, but what if you could tell her a year ago, like the Connie from a year ago, where you are today, like what would she be surprised about?
Well, last year I couldn't imagine to have something regular, because it was like I wanted to be free, and the idea of having something regular, doing something regular, was like a horror to me. And now, since I understood it makes me free, this having a consistency, yeah, I completely changed. I'm much more relaxed. I actually noticed that with a little consistency, I have much more freedom in my life than before with my ups and downs. And I'm much more relaxed. The first month I remember when I had my 13,000 coming in and I sold 2 packages in 1 week. And I was like, oh, what would be possible if I had that continuously over the next years? And this was a moment where I started changing my attitude about consistent, boring, regular activities.
I love this because so many people can relate, right? Like so many people who are entrepreneurs or want to be entrepreneurs, it's like, oh my gosh, the idea of the whole reason they're leaving a job or something like that is to have more freedom. And so a lot of times I think people think, oh, well, I just, I want to have freedom, so I'm going to leave it very like kind of loose and open. And what you're sharing is that that was actually didn't feel as free, that you actually felt you had more kind of ups and downs, and you didn't feel as secure, and you didn't have the ability to do the things you wanted to do as much. So now you have this stability. And I remember sitting down with you at the end of last year, I think, and mapping out what you wanted for 2023. And we made a game plan,
Yeah.
right? So do you want to share a little bit about what it was you wanted to create, and like what kind of game plan did we put in place for you? And
maybe we stick with the financial goal. We said in end of last year, I wanted to have 1 client a month. And together with some speeches and other income through my books, I wanted to have an yearly income of 108,000. This was the plan. And then when in January I sold 2 packages in the first week, I thought, oh, I would love to go for 2. And that was really
200,000.
It was a little bit
200,000.
No,
2
2
clients a month. Okay, got it.
And that was the excitement I needed in my game, because before it was, oh, okay, 1 client a month. And then I saw 2 is much more exciting, and I need a little excitement. I mean, otherwise it gets too much routine and too bored. And I really made it possible to have 2 packages I sold every month. And this is why the 13,000 came in.
So exciting. Yeah. So exceeding your goals is what we all want. And I think that's just a testament to your focus. Yeah. But I think it's important to speak to, because in the past, I remember we worked together years ago, and you would go through these phases where you were very intense and focused, but you would get so stressed out, right? So what's the difference this time? I know you've said you're a lot more relaxed, but like, why are you more relaxed, or like what's changed that you're not so stressed and putting all this pressure on yourself this time? What changed?
I have a system. It is very simple. I have a system. I know exactly what to do, and it is actually, believe me or not, is very little I have to do. I have my so-called power hour, 1 hour a day, where I really concentrate on reaching out to people I could imagine to work with, and just connect with them, and do my clarity calls with them. Okay, this is more than the 1 hour, but this 1 hour I really use to generate leads. And this is when stability came in, because I had a I knew exactly what to do. And one thing, I think you will love that, my personal game changer was that I took 1 day a week off for, I went skiing 1 day a week. And that really gave me so much energy. and so much. This was a freedom I was looking for. No? I was free to go skiing during the week where everyone else was working, and that gave me so much energy and so much fun and so much I'm doing the right thing, that after that I was so energetically full of power. I would have sold everything. And this was really my personal game changer. The system to do every day a little bit, and then this one day doing what really makes me completely happy. So the combination made the difference.
I love that because we talk a lot about aliveness, right? And the way that we teach people to grow their businesses is not just from the what you might call the more masculine, structure, all that. Of course, we need the masculine side or the go mode side, but there's also the side of flow and the side of aliveness. And that is what are the things that bring you alive, right? And so for you, it's physical activity, skiing, being out in nature. And so you said, great, I'm going to take one day a week in the middle of the week or on a weekday and go do this thing that brings me energy. And then when I'm not doing that, I'm going to be super focused and have this structure and this rhythm that you follow. So what Connie's referring to here is one of the systems. We have different ways that we teach to find and attract clients. And I call it the art of the invitation. How do you make great invitations and make more invitations so that people come in and work with you? And I think that so the power hour is a part of it, having these, set times.
Yeah.
And then outside of the power hours, you're actually doing the calls or the meetings or whatever that might be.
Yeah.
I think that people would be curious to know, are you having to do a ton of complicated marketing? Are you posting on social media all the time? Are you doing any complicated funnels or email lists or anything like that? Or
no, the thing is, I do all this not anymore. I'm successful. This is really funny because I have this little mini funnel, no? Reach out, make leads, work them through the test coaching, whatever you might like to call it. And then if they see the value they have, let's sign the contract. It's really simple and it doesn't take much time. Okay, I reach out on LinkedIn to people. So this is my social media activity, but it's really, I post twice a week something, and that's all. And before I was doing master classes, I was running to every networking event around Munich, and everyone knows me, but nobody really knew what I was doing. So this was really not very effective, and now it's super effective. So this is really, that made all the difference.
I love that you're sharing this because, again, I think people overcomplicate it, right? As they think I need to be doing all these different things. And it's like you're spreading your attention and your energy in so many different directions instead of creating one. You called it funnel, which is one way of describing it. I've started calling it like your client cultivation flow, right?
Yeah.
How are you finding and attracting those leads, which we talk about simple ways to do that. You've chosen LinkedIn. Many of our clients have other ways. So where are those leads coming from? And then what's a simple process you lead them through so that the right ones say yes to working with you. And if they're not right, then they don't, right? And what you're saying is like you don't have to run around doing all this other stuff anymore because you have this flow that's working. And what we often find is then there comes a point eventually where people might add in something else, but it's only once they've been doing this thing, you can get easily, I mean, you're already on your way, right, to six figures or multiple six figures with this very streamlined approach. And I think people are often relieved to hear that. So what's changed for you in like working with us over this last, let's say, year and a half, in like your confidence, your clarity? We've talked about your results financially, but is there anything else you want to share about what's changed?
With the results came the calm down, really calming down immensely after those many years of stress and where do the next clients come from. It made such an enormous difference. And the funny thing is, when I'm more calm, I'm more in my real energy and power, and that attracts people. So it is like a spiral or a circle. And the less I do, the more I sell. It's really funny. And I have, as I say, I have much more time to do my hobbies. I wrote a book. I wrote a novel.
Tell us about your novel so
I
people can check it out.
so yeah, it's called Isaiah's Eyes. You find it on Amazon. It is the story that surprisingly a lot enough is to do with myself, of a young girl that goes through the ups and downs in life, and is really full of doubt and asking questions, and never finds the answer. And then she meets a magical turtle called Isaiah, and Isaiah tells her to look at the world through different eyes, which means from different perspectives, and then she understands principles in life. I call it universal principles, and understand how the world and the system and humans work, and how the system works together. And then she finds peace, and in all this she finds what she's meant to be, what is her gift she can bring to the world. And yeah, as I say, the story is in German and in English available on Amazon. And when I wrote it, I wrote, as I say, a lot about my personal story. I've been traveling a lot. I've been a lot to Africa, and I added a lot of those stories into it to make it more alive and interesting and understandable about the principles, because they are really universal. And when I wrote that novel, I remember that when I've been a lot in Africa, I saw how women, when you look in their eyes, they are so determined. They would do everything for a chance if they only had one. And that touched me a lot, because we have so many chances and we sometimes don't use them, and they don't have a chance and would do everything if they only had one. And that's when I decided I want to start a charity organization that finances education for women in underdeveloped countries, to support them to find a job or a perspective in their own country, so they don't have to leave the country and they can build a better life at home where they come from.
I love that so much.
So that was my hobby, and this is where I use my spare time for now, instead of running around like a chicken.
And what's so great about this story is, like, many people watching this might relate that they have a lot of different dreams, right? They don't just want to build a coaching business or a consulting business or whatever kind of
Yeah.
business they're building. They think, I want to do all these other things. And what your story is really showing is that through the focus of really not doing a whole bunch of complicated marketing and sales, like really developing your flow and following the system that we teach, that you were able to create a lot of consistency in your income, create a lot of flexibility in your time, and then write the book that you had been dreaming of writing, which is such a lovely book. I highly recommend you guys check it out. I'm going to spell it out for you. It's Isaiah's Eyes. So it's Isaya, I think apostrophe S, Isaiah's Eyes, like eyes. And like she said, you can check that out on Amazon and get the English version. If you like, it's kind of a blend of fiction and nonfiction almost, right? It's like a story, so it's really engaging, but there's also like lessons spread throughout the story. So it's really a beautiful, I'm more of a fiction reader. I like to read stories. So for me, it really worked. So highly recommend you guys check that out. So in this last year, Connie's written a book, created her foundation, right, to support women in Africa to gain an education around entrepreneurship or whatever they want to do there. And then, and she's, created huge results in her business. So super inspiring. I'm trying to think if I have any other specific questions for you. I guess if we back up just a little bit, before you were at the point of like really consistently going for it with your packages, I feel like we did a lot of work around getting clear around what you wanted to offer, because some people are at that point, they're not even sure what they're offering yet. I feel like we did a lot of work around how to even design your packages, what were your unique gifts, who did you want to serve. Can you just speak to that a little bit, like what that process was like and what, how, yeah.
That was very challenging, because, as I said, I came from sport and I had my sports concepts, and I had to somehow transfer the principles that work there to real coaching. And I started with where I felt most safe. The first client that I got was, she came to me because she wanted to lose weight. And when we looked deeper into why she's eating, she's a stress eater, why she's eating so much in the evening, we found out what the real reason is for her stress eating. And then we started from there. And now she's lost weight, but that's not the focus anymore. Her focus is really to be content in life and to create results that make her relax and content and safe. And then the stress eating changed, and this is how I started. So I was learning by doing it. I tried something, so does it work? Yes, keep it going. If it doesn't work, how can I change it to make it work? And now, a year later, I start to coach men. So it was a consistent developing further and further from my experience, what results I had, what made me alive again and curious again. And this is how it developed. So what I did 1 year ago is not the same anymore what I do now. And I can really highly recommend just start because otherwise you will never grow into that momentum.
So I think what Connie is speaking to is really important and something that we teach in our programs, which is clarity comes through action. And we always say, if you're not sure, like some people come to us, they're not sure if they want to start a coaching or consulting business or some other kind of business. They don't know what kinds of gifts and skills they have to really share. And so we help them to first get clear about that, right? What is it that you have? And so you started somewhere that you knew, right? That you knew well, which was weight loss, personal fitness, that kind of thing. And what happened, it sounds like for you, is that through the process of getting out and starting to not just practice coach, but actually charge money for your coaching, right? Started to see, oh, wait, here's what I really do. Here's what I really love. Here's the kinds of results people are getting that are lighting me up and lighting them up. And then from there, you evolved. And I think we kind of skipped ahead because you said I was doing personal training and now I'm working with men, but it's not just the target market that's different, right? You actually shifted your focus in terms of your coaching. Do you want to just speak to that a little bit? So as you were.
Yeah, it came through COVID because when COVID came, I wasn't allowed to touch people anymore. And this is when my personal training was finished because that was my specialty, to really support them, to have the right movements. And I need to touch them to make them feel what's the right ankle, what's the right position. And when that fell away, I mean, I was 55 by that time. And I thought I have to start something new because you never know how long COVID will last. And with 55, starting personal training again after a big break, I had to think about a new way to make money. And this is when I thought, okay, what else did I learn apart from doing helping people to lose weight? I thought about all the mental stuff I learned through coaching and during my sports time. And this is when I made the switch. And I slowly started to add more and more coaching into it, the more experience I had with working with people. And I made a course with Gigi McKenna about coaching skills. And of course, that helped me a lot to develop what I'm doing now.
Beautiful. Couple of final questions. So one of them is, we're talking a lot about business here, which of course is the main reason you came in to work with us. But what's changed for you personally? Let's just speak to maybe this last year and a half that you've been back working with us. What are some of the personal breakthroughs that you'd be willing to share, or just how we've been able to support you more on the personal side as well as the business side?
Yeah, first of all, I had a lot of fear when COVID came, and at the age of 55, when your existence falls apart, I was really like, how do I cope with that? And I had panic attacks. I couldn't sleep anymore. And then I'm sometimes very quick in making decisions and going for it, but I forget to ask, is it the right thing for me? And does it have a perspective? And where do I want to be in a couple of years? And this is all the thing that changed through working with you. The panic is gone away. It's not only with the business, but I started, in German we say, Having comes from being. And when I decided to be more, what makes me personal, yeah, me, then everything fell into place. Suddenly I knew what I'm really good at, what people feel attracted, what they always ask me for, how did you reach this and this? And this is how I calmed down, I found my niche, and when I think back, so much happened.
So you calmed down, you don't
But
have
this
the
is
panic attacks anymore. Yeah. You said you calmed down, you don't have the panic attacks anymore. Has anything changed in
no,
your confidence or
absolute. It is not like I have to tell myself I'm confident. It is just there. It comes from inside. It's I don't have to tell myself I'm good. I'm convinced I'm good, and this makes so much difference. It's so much normality about that. Yeah, it's not costing me energy to. I don't have, all the things I had in the beginning. I have to pretend I'm good. I have to prove that I'm good. All this is gone. I'm just, as I say, I am much more natural, much more normal, and this is what attracts people most, especially in my
So when it
business.
comes to working with us, as far as like going for joining a program or something like that, I feel like the big kind of fears or objections that come up are like the time, like is it the right time or should they wait until later, right? Or the money, making an investment like this in
Well, about
themselves.
money, don't
Or
worry.
was there any fears or doubts or anything that you had before you chose to invest?
Not really, because when I saw the program you offered, I knew it is what I need and what I have to do to get out of my misery. And of course, at that moment, it was, I mean, I just lost my existence through COVID, and it was a stretch. But I picked a monthly payment, so it was affordable, and it was not a high amount that I was panicking about. I knew I can make it, and then as I say, when you decide for something little, it all adds up somehow. There's a client coming from there, and then something happens from there, and someone I got money from the government um, for keeping education, Fortbildung, yeah, to go to finance education. So somehow everything like in a puzzle, everything fell in its place. I think it came just from me making this decision and that I knew this is my chance to get out of that
Beautiful.
situation.
And then the last thing I wanted to ask was, so just being in the program, anything you want to share about the experience of coaching with me and Gigi, or also being with the other women in the programs, like how has that supported you?
What is extremely important to me is that before I was a one-woman show, and that was really exhausting. And now I have a team. I have a lot of women that are not in the same situation, but they're all on their way to build something. So we support each other. We all have ideas where we want to go to, and we all feel safe with talking about it. So this gives me like a hammock. And this is something I really missed for many years, having people where I can really talk about building something and not being alone all the time. And then the support from you and Gigi is like, if there's something you can't clear within the group, you can just connect with you and Gigi, and there's always an answer that brings you further. I don't know how you make it, if you smell it or, but even me with a different language, I always get an answer where I know, okay, if I do this, it makes a difference.
Thank you. Well, Connie, I really appreciate your time. Where can people find you if they want to check out? We've talked about the book. Is there anywhere else they can connect with you if they want to connect further?
They can connect with me on Facebook. I think you stream it
Yeah.
on Facebook,
Yes.
don't you? I'm on Facebook. I'm one of the followers of this group anyway, on Conny Schumacher. And you can also look for my website and just reach out to me. Send me a note, send me a message on Facebook, on LinkedIn, wherever you want. I'm looking forward to connect.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much, Conny, for your time. I really appreciate it. It's such an inspiring story. I'm so proud of you and honored to continue working with you. And everyone, if you have any questions, you can post them in the comments. Just tag me so that I see it, since we're wrapping up the live here. And so let me just end the video here. Bye, everyone. Oh, wait, we've got one. I'm thinking of business coaching, but don't really have a clear picture how to go about it. Okay. So not really a specific question. So Lloydie, if you want to chat more, we can chat via Messenger, or just, tag me and I can answer any questions you have. Okay. Thank you, everyone. I'm going to end here.